Hey sneaker friend, how's it going? Today we're going to take a look at two very similar Adidas shoes, both launched in spring 18. We're going to have a look at the Solar Glide and the Solar Boost. They have some similarities but slight difference between the two shoes, and I'm going to tell you why you might pick one over the other. Let's dive in. Solar Boost launched in spring 18. It's available on Adidas' website. It's $160 and comes in a few different colorways. The primary technology in it is boost in the midfoot and then this specific fiber placement with the embroidery for reinforcement in the midfoot. I ordered a women's size 7.5 and I do feel like it fits true to size. The Solar Glide also came out in spring 18. It's $140 and available on Adidas' website. Now, the Solar Glide's main technology is basically the boost in the midfoot and just a simplified version of the upper. We've got to dig into more specific details to see why it's actually different than the Solar Boost. I ordered a women's 7.5 and I do feel like it fits true to size. If we take a look at the outsoles of both of these shoes, they are identical. I could not find a difference in either shoe. They both have the Continental Stretch Web outsole. Hardness is about 70 and total height is about 3.5 millimeters with about 1.5 millimeters lug height and 1.5 millimeters web height. There was really not much difference I could find between the outsoles at all. Let's take a look at the torsion system of the Solar Boost. This is our first difference between the two shoes. So here's the Solar Boost. The torsion system is in mint green. So you're going to notice that it comes down in the heel on the medial side and goes up the side of the heel. In the forefoot, the torsion system extends on the medial and lateral sides of the forefoot. Now, if we look at the Solar Glide, very similar torsion system. It's the black area, so it's hard to tell from the outsole, but it comes down to the medial side of the heel, but it does not extend into the midfoot at all. So the torsion system stops right about here and does not extend up. That's the first difference besides price that I've noticed between these two shoes. So technically, the Solar Glide should be slightly less stable than the Solar Boost. However, having worn them both for a little bit now, I don't notice a difference whatsoever. If we take a look at the midsole of each shoe, they are identical. Both have boost material hardness between 30 and 35. Both have a 10 millimeter offset. Both have medial stability, and both have the propulsion rail from heel to forefoot. They both also have the identical same heel counter in the shoes. The heel counter connects at the bottom of both of the shoes. It's just simply a different color. Now, the upper does have a couple of differences in it. The main material, so the gray versus the blue, is different. This is a stretch mesh, but it has these overlay or these heat press kind of materials over the top of it with the fiber placement reinforcement in the midfoot. The Solar Glide has basically a stretch mesh also, but it has these rails where there's less material. It seems a little bit more breathable overall. In the midfoot, there's just skins with logo on top of it. The tongues, the linings, and the shoelaces of both shoes are also identical. If we have a look at the sock liners are also identical. Same thickness, about 5.5 millimeters thick. They do compress out quite quickly. This is the Solar Boost one, which I have about 40 miles in the shoe, and it's already compressed down to about 1 millimeter in thickness. If we have a look at both strobles, you're going to notice a woven fabric that has holes in it, the exact same pattern in both shoes, and both are glued down. So underfoot, you have a very similar feel between both shoes. The only actual difference is there's more of a torsion system in the Solar Boost than the Solar Glide. Overall, for the uppers, you have very similar uppers. The stretch mesh in the Solar Glide is slightly different than the stretch mesh in the Solar Boost. Sock liners are the same. Price point is $20 cheaper for the Solar Glide. Now, if we have a look at weight, this is where it's usually easy to tell a difference between the shoes. For the Solar Glide, the right weighs 256 grams and the left weighs 258 for a total of 514 grams. For the Solar Boost, the right weighs 253 and the left weighs 250 grams for a total of 503 grams. That's 11 grams less per pair than the Solar Glide. So if you break that down to shoe by shoe, this shoe weighs 5 grams, 5.5 grams more than this shoe. That's not a ton of weight difference, but it is interesting because it does seem like this upper is a bit more simple and it has less torsion system in the bottom. So is where there's less torsion, is there more boost? And since boost is pretty heavy, is that why this shoe weighs a little bit more? Overall, a difference of 5 grams per shoe or 11 grams for a pair isn't that much and is not that noticeable. From a construction and durability standpoint, the shoes are made very similarly. The only durability concern I have is I only have about 40 miles on the Solar Boost, and the midfoot area of rubber is already worn down to the web. So the lugs are completely worn off. So I do have durability concerns with the stretch web outsole, but otherwise the rest of the shoes feel great. Both fit well. The uppers fit nicely. There's a little bit more room in the toe box, which I do like. Both uppers fit well, and both shoes feel very similar underfoot. I can't tell. I don't have as many miles on the Solar Glide yet, but I cannot literally not tell the difference between the two shoes when I'm wearing them. I've been trying to wear this on my right and this on my left foot to see if I can tell a difference between the two shoes, but I literally can't tell. So I'm not sure what the torsion system is doing underfoot if you can't tell the difference between it. All right, that pretty much covers it for the Solar Boost versus the Solar Glide. Very similar shoes. This shoe's $20 cheaper, and I think the aesthetic is a little bit cleaner. So if you have a little bit less money to spend, I would buy the Solar Glide. If you want a little bit of a cleaner look, I'd also buy the Solar Glide. From a performance standpoint, if you need a little bit more stability, the Solar Boost might be your shoe. But again, it's kind of hard to tell the difference between the two. Overall, they're very, very similar. I think the better buy is the Solar Glide, being $20 cheaper. It's slightly more weight, but it's simpler and a cleaner look. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Have you tried both shoes? What do you think? All right, have an awesome day. See ya.